skip to my MMA.
First of all, the devil is fucking with me because I didn't even follow nobody and my shit go up and down from 666. I unfollow somebody 665 and go back up. I'll follow 2 people, lose 2 followers or some shit. Or I'll lose, like the meme pages get deleted. 666 again. What the fuck? And then all these people think they so fucking funny. How's your nose? Look at it. Look at my fucking nose, you bitch. My nose is fucking great. I'm still gonna be prettier than you the rest of my life. And I'll still beat your ass any day of the week, ho. How's your nose? Fuck you. That's good enough for you fucks. You was begging I get knocked out. I beat that man's ass for 13 and a half minutes. Then he landed a knee and I got the takedown. But I lost the fight. What the fuck? That's my fault. Or some weird shit. Or God's playing games. It's bullshit. Now these fucks think they're funny. They was begging for me to get knocked out, and I'm tough, and I don't get knocked out. And my nose fucking broke for some fucking reason. Oh, how's your nose, Mike? Everybody's asking. A bunch of, I don't know who everybody's is. Bunch of assholes. How's your life? I got more money in the bank than you.
So I was supposed to see a nose doctor today, and I went, and they said the appointment, something happened, and then I'm like, man, we got stuff to do, and they were like, oh, wait, just wait, don't leave just yet. So they made it seem like, you know, they was finna push us up the ladder, and then something was going on with like the information for payment. Nobody knows the name of the UFC's insurance company, and they don't know how it works, but we got them trying to contact them and them trying to contact them. And so after they made us wait, it was like, don't leave yet. You know, they told us it was going to be like 45 minutes to an hour, and we was like, nah, I'm trying to go. And then so 45 minutes go by, and I'm like, all right, man, I don't like getting pushed around like this. I don't need to wait for this doctor. I still had stitches in my face. So we went home at 15 minutes after the 45 minutes was up, and I clipped all the stitches out with Danielle's help by myself. I had already took off all the nose and the gauze stuff anyways already, so I ain't waiting for nothing no more. I ain't playing that shit no more. I'm gonna just stay home, and people need to leave me alone. I'm gonna leave them. And that shit that I was talking about I had to do and get done was to come eat lunch and drink some sangria and go back home and play video games drunk. So my time is valuable.
You've been retired for half a decade now. What made you want to come back, or at least think about coming back?
Well, it's always been there. You know, I was kind of halfway through a training camp when I got put to one side. And it just kind of, I don't know, it's within me, you know, it's like a demon I need to let out. I need to exercise it. And plus, you know, I've spent 7 years pretty much now just absorbing the sport from a wide perspective. I watch everything Fight Pass has. I'm on Flow Grappling. I'm on Box Nation in the UK. I watch everything I can, and I've just been absorbing this stuff. I feel like I've done a master's degree in martial arts over the last 7 years, and I've just absorbed all of this stuff. So I've always felt that I've never given a good account of myself in the UFC. I always felt like my best performances were, you know, perhaps in Europe or Japan before I signed. So, a part of me would like to show people what I'm actually capable of just one time before I retire into a commentary role for the rest of my life.
September 29th, 2012 was the last time you fought. It'll be almost 7 years next month. You beat Amir Sadallah by unanimous decision in Nottingham, England. And you had to leave because of a medical condition. Has that been cleared up? What changed in the last 7 years or so?
Well, it took me a couple of years to figure out what I was doing. I needed to go back to the UK. I came back to the UK and I spoke to my doctor, and he recommended I have a specialist look at it. So I did some research and found a guy who specializes in cardiac issues with athletes.
Okay.
So I did all the same tests. I took all the paperwork I had from the test that I did in Las Vegas before the fight with Matt Brown. I took all that to show him, and he had a look at it, and he's put me through all the same tests, and he basically showed me what they'd seen and what he'd seen, and there were similarities, but they were probably accentuated because I was in training camp and I was weight cutting, and I was pretty fatigued at the time. I was 4 weeks out from the fight, so I was right in the thick of it. And he looked at it and he said, look, he understands what they saw, but it's there's no danger there, there's no issue there. So at any point in the future, if I chose to fight, he's able to. I mean, he has the paperwork and he's able to speak on my behalf.
I think big picture when you talk about DC's legacy, and he can do anything in television and broadcasting that he wants to do. It doesn't even have to be related to combat sports at all.
Yes.
But I think when he gets some time to distance himself from this will be sort of a blip on his legacy, especially if he doesn't run it back with Stipe and end his career with 2 consecutive losses. In terms of what is next for Daniel Cormier, and time permitting, we'll get to Stipe, who will probably defend this belt against either Francis Ngannou, DC, or maybe even John Jones next. But for DC, Kenny, he didn't want to look at his Wikipedia page, and you're in the same boat, okay? Ken, if I can speak for you, you guys didn't want to look at your Wikipedia page while you got your feet up in retirement, see a bunch of red at the end of your career. Right?
Absolutely.
You retired, obviously, because of a back injury, but you could have hung on and beat 80% of the division. DC can hang on and beat most of the guys in the world for sure. But he doesn't want to look at his Wikipedia page and have it look like Rashad Evans, for example, And to that end, I do think Daniel Cormier is going to retire. I think he would love to complete this trilogy with Stipe. I'm sure he's getting $2 or $3 million to show at this point in time, almost regardless of opponent.
Yeah.
But I think for Daniel, because he is such the unique case of career after opportunities, that I just don't know that he needs the cash grab. And if he doesn't, Kenny, it's not that I would like to see him retire. I just think he is going to retire because he wants to preserve his legacy and not put it at further risk against the best heavyweights in the world.
And he's 40 years old, right? He's 40 years old. He's had a ton of injuries. This is a guy who's been fighting throughout a ton of injuries and a ton of bumps and bruises throughout training camps. And the way that DC trains, he puts so much into it. I don't think he has anything left to prove, right? I mean,
No.
The guy has done it all in this sport. This guy's an Olympian. He's an absolute stud. He has a huge career ahead of him on television. To be an excellent mentor and analyst for many, many years.
Yeah.
This is the kind of guy that we want representing our sport. And I think he wants to be a great father, a great husband, a great wrestling coach now. So go ahead and be that mentor, DC. You've done it all, man. There's nothing left for you to prove. You're a warrior down to your core. Enjoy retirement if that's what he wants to do. Again, I know it's tempting to want to get this one back, and I do believe that he can come back and beat Stipe Miocic.
Right.
As difficult as it would be, there's no doubt in my mind that DC can go out there and win that fight. But I don't think there's anything left to prove, man, especially after such a crazy fight like that. More importantly, what's more difficult than anything, I don't care about you seeing a friend lose or anything like that's going to happen in this sport. But seeing a friend take damage, that's what gets me emotional, and that's what makes me upset, and that's why I'm a little critical of the performance.
Sure. And I do believe that he is going to step away. Henry Cejudo and I have a little bit of a side wager because Cejudo thinks without a shadow of a doubt that he's coming back. And I wouldn't necessarily be surprised to see DC accept a trilogy fight with Stipe with the mentality that he was going to see how his body got through training camp. And if it responded in the manner in which he liked, then he would go through with the fight. But I do believe that a big part of Daniel would like to step away for a lot of the reasons that you outlined. And there's no doubt his legacy is entrenched and one of the greatest in UFC history. And